Welcome back to Rimworld Season 3. Now, this episode is mainly going to be the setup for the new season. So, if you want to skip all that, just go ahead and head over to the video right after this one, and it'll be straight into the gameplay. Now, Season 3. I was going to wait for the next major patch. And it has been I think 2 weeks since I made my channel update, and that patch has not come out. So, what I have decided was I'm freezing my Rimworld. I'm going to stay in this version. I have disconnected this from Steam so it won't automatically update and break everything. Same with the mods. I've pulled them over. I don't want Steam touching those. Now, unfortunately, this does mean that I'm probably not going to get any mod updates for the ones I do have loaded, and I won't really easily be able to add anything mid-season. Now, I think I'm okay with that because I really like playing Rimworld. And, I mean, the patch might not come out for quite a while. So, I mean, maybe everything will work out fine, but just in case, I am prepared. But we are going to be locked in version 0.17. There's not going to be any upgrades during this. Now, let's go ahead and get into what mods I am using. And I'm just going to quickly go over these for the most part. So, let's see. We've got Hugs Lib. Now, this is just kind of one of the core things that allows a lot of the other mods to work. Same with Miscellaneous Core, U.S. Colonial Marines Core, and the Astra Militarum Imperial Guard Core. These are all required for later mods. So, this has all their just core files, obviously. Now we have Prepare Carefully, which this is probably one of my number one favorite mods because it allows you to customize your game experience quite a lot. It does have a few limitations, but I don't let those get to me too much. But I include this in all of my playthroughs of this game, always. Now, after that, we have expanded prosthetics and organ engineering. A lot of extra bionic bits and everything. And we are going to have cybernetic storm, which is going to add even more. And, of course, we need the compatibility patch, so that's in there as well. We have the Doom kit, which adds a lot of Doom armor. That's the main reason I even got this. I don't care about the weapons. I love the Doom armor. So, yes, we brought that along. Death Rattle, what this basically does is it makes it so whenever your colonist takes lethal damage, they don't die immediately. They will be incapacitated, they will fall down, they can't do anything, but it does give someone else a chance, small chance, to save them. And I feel like that kind of deserves to be in the game. Because, I mean, I can harvest things like hearts, lungs, all of that, and I should have at least a small chance to save the people. Now we have animal armor, armor for animals basically. More trait slots. Now this one is going to be kind of interesting. I have put a kind of a hard cap. Actually, I think it's the default. All new pawns will start with a minimum of 3 traits and can spawn with a maximum of 5. So we might see some interesting combinations. Now we have Omni Core Drill, so we can have our expensive drill drilling away, getting us some resources later on. Prepare Landing, this I've had mixed success with. Sometimes it works. It matters heavily with what mods you have loaded. Sometimes it just doesn't work at all, so probably won't see this one. I don't know. Ragnarok Online Hair. Harvest Organs Post-Mortem. Yeah. I like this idea. You can harvest the organs as long as the body isn't decomposing. So you have to get it while the body's fresh. Makes sense. Rim Atomics. A lot of nuclear type technology in this. And I've never played with this before, and I'm looking forward to using it. More Doom stuff. Basically just furniture, so I can have a little bit more variety. Now we have the Xenomorphs faction. Now I added this last season really late. But when I added it, I was so happy with this. These guys are absolute beasts in close combat. Now, unfortunately, the main part of this mod brings that flamethrower. And I'm going to try and not use flamethrowers because I found that they were extremely overpowered. But I do like the aliens, so they're definitely here. Now back to 40k type stuff. We have the Imperial Guard mod, which is going to add the turrets. And then we have the Imperial Guard mod that adds a Chaos faction. It is Traitor Guard. These guys are going to pack a huge punch because they're all going to be using Imperial Guard weapons, which those weapons are really strong. So I figured this is kind of a balancing thing towards myself. These guys are going to be hard to deal with. Now we have the Colonial Marines, and they're generally good guys, so we won't be fighting them, but we can trade for some of their weapons. I do like their pulse rifle. Hospitality, faction discovery. This is just so all of our different factions will spawn. A dog said, and this is going to be prosthetics, bionics for animals. Chem fuel generators. These I haven't really messed with yet. For how large they are, I think that's going to be kind of a balancing factor for them. I don't know how much heat they put off or anything like that, but these will be interesting. And even more so with the scenario that we will be playing. Relations tab, this is just kind of something kind of nice to look at whenever you open up the relations tab. It makes it a little bit more visual. Medical tab, miscellaneous training, this is where we get our training dummies. ED embrasures. I've gone through a lot of the different embrasures mods, and I think this is the best looking one, so this is the one we will be using. Laser drill, so we can actually drill some geothermal vents. Miscellaneous robots. This is going to add the hauling bot and the cleaning bot. I didn't get to use these last season because they're so expensive to buy, and that's pretty much the only way you're going to get a hold of them, because they're not on a drop table, I don't think. Work tab, and this just lets me customize the different jobs. More trade ships, because I love having an active sky full of trade ships. Glitter tech, this is going to add a lot of high-tech weapons and some high-tech faction guys that will attack you. More floors, just so we have more decoration. Rimsenal, so we have more weapons. And Rimsenal hair, because I do kind of like how these look. Rimsenal Storyteller Pack, just in case we want to switch over to one of these later on. Double population. And this is our Colonial Marine turret, which I have never actually used because this is usually one of the most pricey items in the game. I think the lowest I've really ever seen it is 28,000 credits, which is a lot. Now, Shields Basic. Now, this, I'm going to try and limit myself on how much I use these. I'm going to try not to do a double shield like I did last time because that was extremely strong. I don't want them overlapping so much. It might happen, but I'm going to try not to, especially since we're going to have a lot of harder enemies. This might become very important, and they might be able to take it down. Of course, the Imperial, or the Traitor Guard, will probably be the ones to take this down easily. Things like Xenomorphs, they don't care about shields. They just walk right through them. Efficient light, so power doesn't become a huge issue, because 75 power for a regular lamp is kind of wrong. Fuses for the surges and whatnot. Solar flare shield, which is basically just going to drain our power and light things on fire if I put it in a room again. More vanilla turrets. Mad skills, this is so it'll turn off natural skill degradation, because I find that kind of ridiculous. Infuse, you can actually have prefixes and suffixes for kind of not exactly magical equipment. Well, you know what, actually it is kind of like magical equipment. So yeah, it's infused with magic. Repair workbench. Rimsenal security pack, more guns, more turrets. Rimsenal Federation, a faction of high tech, although I've found out these guys don't seem to be very durable. They bring some devastating weapons, but they're like glass cannons. Rimsenal Feral. Now, I haven't messed with these guys so much. These are more like a Mad Max type faction. They're going to be bringing a bunch of junk weapons, but they will be efficient, because that's all they really want is lots of explosions. Sun lamp power to make them a little bit cheaper because 1600 power is a lot. Okay, and then we've got quality builder. This will help me get better quality stuff if I remember to ever use it. Fish industry. I would like to have some water nearby so I can actually fish. Advanced power generation. This is the... Ooh, I forgot what it's called. It's a Xeon ion something. And a nuclear reactor. And wind power. Defensive positions. If I can ever remember to do this. Because I always forget this how to use part. And I'm going to go ahead and read it off. Draft your defenders and place them where you want them. With your defenders selected, hold the shift key and click the defensive position button. Or press T. I will forget this. Then we have Allow Tool, another mod that should just be in the base game. This is extremely useful. Spaceship, this is where we got all of our cosmetic bits for our spaceship, which we will make another nice looking ship. I might make it bigger this time. I felt like I didn't have enough room in the last one we made. Quantum cooling, yeah, I didn't really get into this one last season because it wasn't really needed, but I like having it. Hand me that brick just to speed up construction a little bit. Concrete walls, more wall options. Growing plots, we can kind of make custom made or custom shaped growing plots instead of the 2x4 that all that vanilla has, really. Improve ship reactors because the vanilla version brings no power with it. Dead man's clothing. My colonists, they do not have any issue with wearing clothes from someone that died. It's a harsh world out there. Maid project, because we like having maids. Lovely hairstyle, more hairstyles. The old style research menu, I have that because I have so many mods, you wouldn't be able to read the research menu otherwise. Stack XXL because I kept complaining about how much silver I had in rooms. Entire rooms full of silver should not happen. So the silver will stack a lot larger. We have Moody, melee hunting, just so my melee people can actually go do all my hunting, and I'd rather melee do hunting instead of guns. Let's see, Rimsnell Enhanced Vanilla Pack. This just kind of improves a lot of weapons that are already in the game, and it adds a few more as well, I believe. Organize Research tab. This will kind of space everything out so nothing's like layered. Machinoid Ship Extension. Now this makes it so the fallen ship pieces can have other drops, including a power cell, which you can actually hook up. More furniture, just so our rooms don't look so terrible and empty. Animal husbandry raids. This is so raiders, especially tribesmen, will bring other things to fight for them because it's kind of a force multiplier for them. Headgear frame. This just makes the game a little better looking because hair acts weird with helmets. Vegetable garden because, you know, variety of food. Wealthy traders. I mean, they're coming with a reason. They're coming to trade. It makes more sense for them to actually bring money. The new tech advanced medical pod. This thing is awesome. This thing is power hungry. Buildable terrain. Now this can be very abusable. I usually restrain myself because I don't think it should be abused too much. It makes sense whenever you're building a defensive area where you could have like a shallow moat. Because, I mean, what stops your colonists from, like, collecting water and actually building a moat? Now, going around doing rich soil absolutely everywhere you want to grow crops, that's kind of pushing it. Everyone hauls, because everyone hauls. If you're going to be in the colony, you're going to work. Rim fridge. I get to build refrigerators everywhere. More faction bases. This kind of just populates the map a little bit more. Area rugs. I included this because, again, our rooms looked kind of empty, and this will add a little bit extra to them. Machinoid tech. This brings in a faction. It extends the faction of the mechanoids. It gives them some vehicles, some other ship pieces that can drop, a lot of other stuff. it's supposed to be kind of hard. And I think on here it does say, cautions, this is a hardcore mod. So, if it's going to be hardcore, it's going to be fun. Floored yellow and striped tiles. I think this just looks nice. Refugee stats, so we can see who's trying to join us, because we're going to want to know about their traits a little bit. Additional joy objects. This gives us things like card tables. I think this gives us, not TVs. Well, it gives us the bigger TVs, I think. But just other things for joy. Replace walls. This just is kind of useful. Wall lights, so we can actually build lights directly into the walls. Now, they don't give off as much light, so you'll have to build more of them, but it does kind of free up space and it makes it not look as cluttered. And then we have quarry, which again, this is something that I'm not going to abuse. This thing, if you build it somewhere safe, it's just too safe for getting unlimited resources just about. Although I wound up with a lot of chunks last time. And then the Imperial Guard add-on for Deep Core Miner. And now this one, Map Reroll. Normally I don't use this. The scenario that we're playing this time, I kind of want to use this because it's going to represent us kind of having a controlled landing on the planet, and we kind of get to pick where we want to be. So that's my reasoning behind bringing this. Because I don't know if I've mentioned this already, Season 3 is a continuation off of Season 2. Remember, we did evacuate, so those people, they made it off the planet, and they're still out there. And we're going to join a couple of them. So, that's it for the mods. Let's go ahead and move into our new colony. Now, I've named it Season 3. And we're going to go through the scenario editor real quick, because there's a few things I want to point out. First off, I am disabling infestation. Now, this is because we will be making a mountain base, and I really don't want to deal with this constantly. Now, in exchange for that, we are going to have constant eclipses. We're also going to have fairly regular flash storms. Now, a flash storm, it isn't too bad, except for the fact that it's going to set fire to all of the forests on the map. So, wood might become kind of scarce. I will have to make room for a place to grow trees and kind of protect it. Whenever there's a flash storm, I'll have to have people run out immediately and put out the fires. Now, we also have a permanent effect of volcanic winter. This is not going to go away. It's going to be cold and it's going to be dark. And of course, we have bunches of ship chunks scattered everywhere. Now, I picked out 10 pieces of research that I would like to have. Now, I didn't go with anything super high-tech. The best one that I have is going to be Quantum Prototype, which, as we saw in the last series, didn't do me almost any good at all. It was terrible. But I would like to start with that just in case I do want to use it, and it does give me kind of a jump start on getting to the next in the quantum line. Still very expensive for the next one, though. Now, other than that, some of these I just want because I'd like to have them right from the beginning, just so I can make the base look nicer, like the wall lights. I don't really want to research how to put lights in the walls. And I did start with electric cremation because I don't feel like digging and undigging graves constantly. A lot of this other stuff, it's kind of low tech. Basic autopsy, I want to get into this season because I kind of ended the season right when I got this, and so this is kind of a jump start to get myself to use it. Now, the other part, this is where it's going to get kind of interesting. I've disallowed some buildings. I have disallowed wind turbines, advanced wind turbines, solar generators, advanced solar generators, and imperial solar generators. So we cannot get any power from wind or sun at all. Now, I'm doing this, and it's to represent kind of the harsh conditions of the planet. Maybe it's very stormy. Maybe we have lots of hail, things like that. Things that would break the solar generators, the solar panels, rather. And it would just mess up the wind turbines. So there's a little bit of a reason why I'm not taking these. Now we're going to move on, and we're going to be playing on Cassandra Classic, Devil Population, And I think we are going to start on intense. I'm probably going to kick this up to extreme or lunatic after probably the first year in game. Or if we feel too strong, we're going to slide on down here a little bit past all these people. I mean, they're swell people and all, but this guy's kind of cool. This guy wants to do nothing but break you. He will attack over and over again. And if I feel like we're strong enough, we're going to meet this guy. Actually, I take that back. Eventually, we will meet this guy. Even if it's later in the season, I will put us against this, and he will most likely be on lunatic. But this is kind of our end game right here. Something to look forward to. But for now, we're not complete sadists or masochists, whatever. We're going to do Cassandra Classic on intense. Now, our seed is just going to be Season 3. And we're going to ramp this up to 100% because I like the big worlds. And I think we're going to drop the temperature down just a tad. And rainfall can stay the same, I think. And I'm going to hit generate. This is probably going to take a little while, so I'm going to pause the video, and I'll bring you back once we get into, I guess, we have the world created. And welcome back to our world. Now, we need to find a good place to call home. And I do want to be in a mountainous area. Now, I think I'm going to try and get prepare landing to work. It doesn't always agree, but we're going to give it a shot. I would like to be in a temperate or boreal. We'll do temperate forest. The terrain, we want mountainous. All this I don't care about. Now, the stone types that I want, I would love to have slate and marble. Granite, I'm okay with. Limestone, I do not want. And sandstone, I don't really want that either. Granite, I'm okay with. Now, let's see. Coastal tile, don't care. Alright, let's see if we get anything. It looks like it's working this time. Usually, I don't even get this screen. Okay. Now, let's check out what we have. Quite a few different spots. And I think I want this, is it minimized? Yes, okay, there we go. So the first spot is this one right here. Wow, completely enclosed. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm also looking at the average temperatures. I'm going to want it kind of cold. And we're wanting, actually everything's highlighted. I could just look around, because I do want a lot of nearby enemies, but I do want some allies nearby as well. Alright, so those are pretty good spots. Oh, here's some that are even further north. Now, like right in here, there's a good mix. We got some pirates, the ferals, the trader guard, more tribals. There's no allies nearby over here, though. And there's Federation. Now, I don't want to get too far away because I do want to be attacked fairly often. And just kind of browsing over here a little bit. Not really seeing anything super exciting. Now, over in here, this is looking kind of promising. Got some allies, got some enemies, nice mix of everything. Could be deep in the mountains. What's this one like? It's a little warm, though. Not sure how to... I don't want to go too far north, because that puts me really far away from allies. And I don't want to be too close to these guys, because they're just going to be jerks. Now this one, yeah, it's a little bit too warm. Now, I also don't know if this takes in consideration the volcanic winter also. So it could be a lot colder than this. Because the winter temperature being 50 degrees, that's really high. Of course, the summer temperature is kind of cold as well. Well, it's not cold. I mean, I think this is a fantastic temperature. Yeah, we're going to have to go much further north. And maybe I don't want temperate. I mean, there's some that come kind of north, but just not north enough. Like, how about this one? Ah, you see, here's where we want it. Winter temperature of 10 degrees. 20 days of growing. Marble, slate, and granite. That sounds pretty good. And who do we have nearby? No trader guard. They're all the way over here. Actually, that's not too bad. I mean, it's not exactly good either. We'd probably see a ton of these guys right here. Is there anything better further north? No. Oh, you guys, your placement sucked. Or maybe my placement kind of sucks. I have a little bit of everything over here. How's this one? Temperature still a bit warm. I might just have to pick a spot and just go with it. So I'm not really seeing anything that's too cold. Well, this one's nice and cold, and you got 3 enemies nearby. Got 2 allies to the north. I think I already looked at this area and I said no, but I guess I didn't look far enough north to see that there was other guys up here. This is kind of in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I think we're going to go with this one. And I'm going to remember to actually put this on large, because sometimes I forget that. Now then, who are our factions that we're going to be here with? More interested in the enemies. Okay, wow, there are a lot of factions. Okay, so we've got the Tyrant's Legion are going to be the Trader Guard. The Black Moles are going to be the Pirate Band. The Club Jackals, another Pirate Band. The Burning Face Beaters. Well, that's a great name. That's another pirate band. The Komodos, another pirate band. Let's see. Force Ada. We've got the Spirit Takers as the Feral Clan. We've got the Chaser Armada. Okay, and all of these are... Okay, I'm going to be fighting you guys a lot, and I'm not even going to try and say whatever that is. You are the mountain people. Alright, and we've got a lot of people that are just kind of neutral with us for the most part. We've got Outlander Union, they're a little more friendly with us. Yeah, no one's extremely happy with us being here, though. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hit next. And we're going to prepare carefully. Now I'm going to load a preset, our Season 3. Now, the only 2 people that are going to be starting with this are Nid, of course, and Briar, since, well, Briar kind of is Nid's fiance, so it made sense for her to come along as well. Now, a few things to note. Nid is not starting with any of his bionics. He is, however, starting with a new trait. Now, he's only going to have 3 traits. I can have up to 5. Only taking 3. Now, his main trait is going to be really strong. I feel he's earned it, especially since all of his bionics have been taken away. So he has Imperial Assassinarium. This is giving him just a ton of different buffs. And I might actually have him dabble in melee a little bit this time. On top of that, they are coming back with the gear that they were wearing when they left the planet. So Nid has, well, really kind of average equipment. Briar, on the other hand, has one of the maid suits. Now, another thing, I have reduced all of their skills as well, except for a few. They get to keep some of their points, but definitely not all of their points, because Nid was pretty maxed out on, like, everything. I have advanced their chronological age. I have rolled back their biological age, though, and there are reasons for that. And Briar, she did not get one of the super traits, but she lost a lot of her skills, but she did keep her equipment. And yes, I did actually I had to write down what the names were so it would all be correct. Now, relationships, yes, they are both fiancés. And our equipment that we're starting with, of course, I managed to find another cat. And I am taking back my pulse rifle, and I really like that plasma rifle, so we brought that along with us. Now, this plasteel hospital bed, I don't have a way to make a legendary bed to bring with us. So this is the compromise I came up with, because we did bring that legendary bed with us. That happened. So I have settled with, we're going to start with a plasteel hospital bed. That's what has become of our legendary bed. Unfortunately, I'll have to make another legendary bed at some point. But this is all of our starting equipment. We do have a portable reactor. This will give us some power since we can't use the sun or the wind. And it does take uranium to run, so this isn't a permanent thing. We will have to feed it more of this, which means we'll have to find more uranium, which isn't a guaranteed thing. We'll have to figure something out. Hopefully, we can use geothermal, but the problem is, running off of only geothermal power, we're going to be kind of restricted on what we can actually do, because there's a lot of things that take a lot of power. Now, on top of everything that I've done here, we are kind of basically playing a modified Rich Explorer. Now, there's a few things the Rich Explorer gets to have that I did not take. First off, I'm only bringing regular medicine, and only the 80 that I actually put on the ship. On top of that, I only put 80 survival meals on that ship as well, so there's that. If I am off by a little bit, well, then I bought some from a trader, because we did have a ridiculous amount of money. And I'm only bringing the 2 guns. There are no melee weapons in here yet. We're going to have to trade for those or make those. But anyways, this is going to be the end of the preparation. The next episode, I'm going to be hitting the start button, and we will be making Planetfall. So, I will see you in just a bit.